All right, what's up, guys? Good to be back with you again. We've got another match here for you today, second match of the season, and we're playing against Ilaoa and To'omata, which, as you'll recall from last time, is one of these teams that usually ends up doing pretty well. Maile is still out of there, so we're going to have Mark Tagai and Petupoli in there again. This time, Tagai is going to play the advanced forward role, and we do have Chris Famuana there on the bench, though he's a little bit tired because of all of the friendlies we've played before this. And so we'll just proceed on forward to this match and see what happens. Match 2 out of 20 this season, so we'll see how it goes. And let's see what we can do. It's kind of unfair when I think about it. You know, we ended up absolutely dominating the league last season, and all we did is we went out and bought some of the best strikers in the country and some of the best defenders in the country. So, I mean, we're quickly going to get to that sort of magical point where hopefully at least the league is a little bit too easy for us, but we'll see what happens here. First, we have to actually get past this team before we can start talking about what a great side we have and how we're going to dominate everything in American Samoa. So we will be on the defensive here to start things off in this match. And let's see if we can do a little bit better at keeping sort of a clean sheet. And this ball is lumped forward, of course, and Moala goes back and grabs it. Another one of our new players, Zion Moala, who I think I had in for a couple minutes there yesterday. Moala, 16 years old. Ledoux here taking this shot and ends up being knocked back, and another shot is knocked back again, and then he just sort of launches it forward, and their goaltender is able to grab onto it. Good idea, but not really that well executed, and boy, I tell you, we're used to that here in amateur land. Lots of good ideas that we do a really poor job with. Topui, fortunately for us, is able to head that one the correct direction. Unfortunately for us, it went straight to their player who had a shot on goal, and we're about 8 minutes into this. And it is over to Periario, I think is his name. I had a hard time seeing that with that background. And unfortunately, they have grabbed the ball again, and we may have made one too many changes here in our squad, which is why we're kind of struggling. So they do end up with sort of a shot on goal that has been deflected, and it's a little bit scary here to see us doing so poorly in midfield, and I really do think that having the Segundo Volante role might be something that's hurt us a little bit. Ledoux here takes a shot, and boy, that's almost in. That's almost in. He's a good player, isn't he? We've said his name a lot here. Roy Ledoux playing the right side attacking midfielder is a great one, and is a lot better than some of the players we had last season, and they're pretty good too. Here he is with another free kick, and that's just over. I thought that was going to be in. 0-0 the score remains as we're about 20 minutes into it, and this yesterday is about the part where we started to turn things around. You see that we have Offa back out there at the left side, and he's just not having much of a match again. Offa still, of course, very young and was thought of as a star player before, but I don't know if we can think of him as that anymore. Here he comes, and boy, that's just wide. That's just wide. He had 3 men on him and was not quite fast enough to beat them anyway, and that shot still got off as a miracle, but it's just wide. Ledoux goes over and grabs this one back to Topui. Topui over to PanSa. PanSa lumps it forward looking for Tagai and can't quite find him, and then it's passed back to Moala. Moala looking now for Petupoli, can't quite find him either. Ledoux finds Petupoli, it's going to be a goal. Oh no, and he misses it, hits it over too far to the side. That's an embarrassment. That absolutely should have been a goal. I mean, he had everybody beat. Look at this, he has the defense beat completely, and I mean, it's harder to miss than to score. You know, anyway. So it is still 0-0, and my worries continue a little bit here. 6 goals last time, but no goals so far in this game, and Piario is able to knock that one off, but unfortunately there Tagai is able to get behind the defense, and that is his first ever goal for their team, which has me very, very concerned. And so another goal given up from a set piece. We did a good job of knocking this back out, and then everybody moved forward, allowing him to sort of sneak back in there behind the defense. He probably was offside, I think. We'll see if they show us a offside replay or not. They will right here, tight offsides. And yeah, he was offside. It's pretty clear. In fact, there were a number of players on their end who were behind us. And so let's see what we can do. I see that our players are actually motivated this time by my feedback, so hopefully that's a good sign. Offa having an awful game, and he's going to come out. We're going to take out a number of these players, and it may be time for some fines here. We don't want to have a loss here in the beginning of the season. We should be dominating. PanSa goes back and gets this one over to Peario. Passes it forward for Offa. Offa with it, and he lumps this over to Tagai, who misses. I don't know how he missed that. It's knocked forward and crossed over to Afa again. Is another miss. How do you miss that one? Hits over the top crossbar and goes out, unfortunately for us. And so it is 1-0 for them going into halftime. This is an unfamiliar position for us coming into this, trying to work out a tie, at least, if not a victory. And we need to make some substitutions because we have some players here who are not even trying. And this is kind of sort of the thing that you always worry is going to happen. Mark Tagai is going to come off. We're going to put Moe on and Famoana on, and we'll put what should we do here? We can't really take Afa off because I didn't do a very good job of setting this team up. However, what we can do is we can put Xavier on. That's what we'll call him. And we're going to put Kaleopa on here as well. So 4 changes here at halftime. And we're just going to have to sit there and take it with Afa because I don't really know who else to put on. Hopefully his awful play is not going to hurt us too much. Moe over to Famoana, over to Xavier. And boy, he should have scored that one. Should have scored that. That's a very, very frustrating miss to see because we had the defense beat and we're starting already right from the start here to look like a new team. Famoana with a perfect pass. And it's just unfortunate that we couldn't get a better shot out than that. 1-0 still for the Ilaoa and To'omata. And PanSa here with the kick goes over to somebody over there. Cholele with it back to Moala. Moala over to Kaleopa. Kaleopa just came on, knocks it forward for Afa. Afa crosses this one over, and there's that man again with a header, and it goes just straight over the top of the goal. That's what we want to see happen. We want to see a lot more play like this because this is good getting behind the defense and getting a pretty clear shot on goal. It's just unfortunate that he wasn't able to control that a little bit better, but we will deal with that as it comes. We're more than happy with dealing with the problem of the shot wasn't good at the end. At least he had a chance. We weren't getting those chances there in the first half. Unfortunately, our forward-looking ball there is a little bit too hard. Knocked all the way back to PanSa, and I'm not quite sure what their goaltender is trying to do. And PanSa then lumps this one forward looking for Afa and finds him, and there's the lump over to Moe, and he can't get onto that. Ledu now back to Afa, over to Moe again. And the header is there, but it's a good save by Nauer, their goaltender. And there was a free kick given after that because somebody, I think everybody was offside. Famoana there with the shot and just cannot quite get that in. This is a different Famoana, by the way. The one that we were used to last season is off the squad. He was one of those might not have the required ability or potential type players, and we got rid of all those after we got the good players on. Moe with the ball now. Lumps it over to this Famoana, and boy, that requires a really, really good save by their keeper. And so Chris, unfortunately, just not quite able to score on that one, but here comes Ledoux with the corner. I haven't set up corner takers. I haven't set up anything in this. We're just sort of doing it by default here because we had to spend so much stupid time hitting the continue button. Got a little bit football manager fatigue for a while, and we've just sort of gone through everything through the default settings here at the beginning of the season. But we will recover, especially if this ends up being a loss for us. Still 1-0 for them, and we are still behind the 8 ball, and I'm kind of wondering what's going on. We're having good performances apparently, but none of these performances are leading to goals. Ledoux knocks this one forward to nobody. So we're having still some problems with the communication, and then Famoana thinks that he can make it from half court. So a little bit of a ridiculous play by us, and we need to do a little bit better than that. We're going to take Topui off because he's the last player who's not really doing anything, and we can put, of course, Palipua on for him, and so we will. And that's substitution number 5. Hope no one gets injured, and hope we can get something going here. We're just not seeing anything happening offensively for us. Here is their goal kick, and it ends up being won by them in midfield. PanSa, though, able to get onto that one, and it goes over to, what was his name, Xavier, something like this, and he ends up just sort of knocking that ball as hard as he can to the defender. PanSa with it over to Moala over to Afa, and I feel like we're playing a little bit too fast when we have possession. We should probably slow down a little bit. Moe's shot ends up being deflected, and it's grabbed by their keeper. We could play it a little bit slower. We don't have to. We're not in like a race, so there may be some more tactical changes that we need to make especially if this is going to wind up being a loss. And here they are with another corner, and it's danger time already. We do have a number of players back, so let's see if we can stop this one and get it knocked out. And we just are able to, but we don't knock it out very far. Kalliope there with that miraculous save, preventing a goal from being scored, and then we force the corner. So not such a bad defensive job by us there. That's sort of what we want to see, but still with 8 minutes left, we need to see goals. That's what we really need to see here, and this is lumped up, and it's a handball called against them. That went into the net, but it's a handball. And, well, let's see here. We need to encourage the players. Maybe that'll get them to do something. This is another one of so I told the goaltender to work the ball up to the defenders, and instead of that, he's just sort of lumping the ball as far as he can up the field. And here we go. Now we're doing it the right way, kind of. Probably Pua with it now. I'm not sure why he's doing that since he's got guys standing right next to him, but whatever. Ledoux unable to win that, and this is part of the problem. We need to slow it down a little bit here. PanSa ends up winning that one over to Ledoux, to Famoana, over to Moe. Moe knocks it forward from Famoana, who is just denied the equalizer. That wasn't much of a shot from him. That wasn't much of a shot at all. That should have been the equalizer. He had the goalkeeper one-on-one. It's another one-on-one opportunity that we have thrown away. Try to encourage them and see if this does anything, and unfortunately, it looked like it didn't work for that corner at least, and they have the ball here for a throw. So we're still having some problems, and the game's more interesting when you have problems like this, and it's been Tofaiono who ends up scoring that header, and that has me very, very upset. In fact, I don't particularly want to see that again. We're going to try to demand more from this team, but you can bet that there's going to be quite a number of fines at the end of this one because this is an awful performance. This is the team that we should beat, and I'm not sure what I'm watching here. I don't want to see it. So it's knocked forward here, and we miss it in midfield once again, and I think that's where some of our problems come from. We may have sort of that problem of having too many guys who want to play striker. Moy with it here, and he scores a goal. King Moy scores his first goal of the season, but it might be a little bit too late. We only have seconds left to try to get an equalizer, and this is another one of these lump the ball over the top type goals. I'm not sure if we can expect much else here from the players at this level. But at least he scored. At least he had a shot that was on goal this time, which is much better than I can say for any of the other three strikers we've started in this game. And there's just a little sliver of a chance, I suppose. We're able to win this one. Offa knocks it forward to just about nobody, and they're going to knock the ball around here in the back for a little bit until this match ends. And it ends in a hurry, and we have lost this one 2-1. So we lose the second match of the season. We dominate XG, we dominate the shots, dominate shots on target. We don't quite get the possession, though, which may have been part of the problem. Fines are coming after this one, and I will talk with you later. Bye.